Welcome to T-Boys TV. We are back again with another Hat Show, obviously episode 138. And yeah, another big game at home, back-to-back for Luton. Obviously, we're taking on Manchester City, the treble winners. So yeah, obviously a Sunday 2 p.m. kickoff live on Sky. So it means I'll be back again with another watch-along. Obviously, the last one was Liverpool, and that was a memorable one for us. So hopefully it's another thing like that. But obviously, got two people on today. As always, my dad. How are we, Dad?
Yeah, good, mate. I hope everyone's cool. Big up yourselves.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Big up to everyone. A lot of people liked this before we went live as well, so appreciate that. And obviously, we've got Man City fan on, Sony Wright. We bring on Big Steve. How are you, mate?
Superb. How you doing, lads? All right?
All good, thank you. All good. But yeah, obviously, we're taking on City, obviously, at Kenilworth Road. Like I say, another big game at Kenilworth Road. And yeah, what have you made so far, Steve, of Luton's journey and us so far in the season?
Yeah, it's an incredible journey, isn't it? You know what I mean? You guys must be buzzing to see where you are. You know what I mean? It's like probably almost like the results don't even matter. It's just that you're there. You know what I mean? You're mixing it with the big boys, Kenilworth Road. So yeah, no, it's good to see. And you know what? I watched the game the other night against Arsenal, and it was heartbreaking for me as a City fan to see that last minute goal. So you guys must have been devastated. But look, it's a credit to the club and a credit to where you've been and how you've bounced back and just kept going and full credit to you. You know what I mean? Manchester City's been on a mad journey, but we don't get it because we got the Sheikh. You know what I mean? The Sheikh came involved. They think it's easy. As soon as the Sheikh comes, they think spending money and it's easy. Yeah. Man United prove it ain't easy. They've thrown $1 billion at it, not won a league. You know what I mean? There's teams out there throwing money around. Chelsea getting slapped up. So listen, no one's ever going to give City credit. I don't want credit. I've been on a similar journey where we've been in the shit and you think to yourself, is it ever going to get better? You know, is this what I'm about? Is this my football team forever? Have we got an FA Cup in us? I did a famous show with Robbie from Arsenal where I said, I remember a conversation with my pal saying, listen, one day I hope we win the FA Cup. And we'd have took that, you know what I mean? Like you guys would probably take that. But we won the lottery. We got Sheikh Mansour and he came and the club I remember growing up to the club that we have now. You know what I mean? He's totally different. But seeing you guys in the Premier League, I went to Luton years and years ago as a kid. I remember the artificial pitch there. You know what I mean? I'm really looking forward to going there. I don't know. There's a certain thing about certain football grounds where, you know, you see the floodlights appearing over the rooftops and you smell the mad hot dogs and all that. I don't know. So some of the younger fans say to me, what do you mean, Steve, when you talk about football? But it just brings back memories from lower leagues, you know, when you're mooching about and you think, fucking hell, it's dodgy around here, but it's proper football, you know what I mean? So listen, the journey you guys have been on is fantastic and you're mixing it with the big boys now. And listen, you know, I hope you do well. Obviously not tomorrow, but I hope you do well.
Yeah, no, it's the same to me, especially when on a lot of channels I've been on so far, and I've said, you know, good luck for the reverse fixture. But I've said not quite good luck for the rest of the season, but not quite the reverse fixture. But yeah, no, it's absolute, you know, brilliant, you know, especially with the budget we've had as well, you know, to climb up the leagues the way we have, and you know, we've just progressed each season. Like me and you, Dad, we thought we'd be in the Premier League, you know, in the next 5 years from last season. You know, we knew it was going to be a progression thing. You know, we was finishing higher and higher each season, but to be as quickly as it has, it's just been absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, it's good to be here. But yeah, let's go through some comments. Big up to Shard Light. He says it's the mighty Luton. Big up yourself. Big up to Spencer as well. It says good evening, T, Buzzy, and everyone else. Big up to yourself, mate. Big up to Geordie in the chat as well. Away the lads. Big up yourself, mate. Big up yourself, Don. It's been a while since I've seen you in the chat. Big up. He's saying, how are we all? We're all good, mate. Hope you're well. Do you know what I mean? I hope you're well as well. Big up to yourself. Me and Dad not quite going to it, but I know Steve's going in the away end. Like I say, I'll be doing a watch along. So obviously, if you can, do tune into that. So yeah, is this true, Steve? Do you know if this is true?
I've not heard anything yet. I've not heard anything. I can't see. He's trained all week, so I can't see how he's out of it. But you never know, do you, these days?
Yeah, Yeah, it's very true. I thought, you know, if he was maybe going to be out, it's maybe wasn't it if he got a yellow card that day, but he didn't. You know,
No.
I thought that was the only way. But yeah, going a bit more into the game. Obviously, with the insights like we usually do. So obviously, this is the first meeting between Luton Town and Manchester City since April 1999. A third-tier league meeting, which was won 2-0 by City, with goals by Paul Dickoff and Tony Vaughan. Manchester City are unbeaten in their last 9 games against Luton Town, winning 4, drawing 5, since losing 1-0 at Kenilworth Road in September 1986. Manchester City have won 13 of their last 14 Premier League games against newly promoted sides, drawing 1, since the 2-1 home defeat to Leeds United in April 2021. Away from home, the Citizens are unbeaten in 13 league games against promoted sides, winning 11, drawing 2, since defeat at Norwich in September 2019, which was a 3-2. Luton have won each of their last 7 home games against reigning top-flight champions, with these coming from 1985 to the 86 season to 1991 to 92. In English top-flight history, only Newcastle 9 from 1899 to 1910 to 11 have ever had a longer home winning run over defending champions. Luton's last such visit was defeat in 1984 to 85 to Liverpool, which was a 2-1. And then the last one on this section, Luton remain without a Premier League clean sheet so far this season, 15 games. 33% of their goals conceded at Kenilworth Road this term came in their 4-3 defeat against Arsenal last time out. And a bit more going into it, how Rob Edwards is feeling, a bit more about Manchester City and that sort of thing. Rob Edwards' side proved difficult to beat at home after securing their first win against Crystal Palace and taking top of the table Arsenal to the 97th minute on Tuesday night. Obviously, that was at the time of this being said. Obviously, that top of the table has changed. Pep Guardiola's Man City are winless in their last 4 matches, which is their worst run without a win since April 2017. A bit more on Man City. Former Barcelona and Bayern Munich manager Guardiola arrived at the Etihad Stadium in 2016 as one of the best managers of his generation. With 6 top-flight league titles, 4 cups and 2 Champions Leagues to his name before arriving in Manchester, Guardiola has taken City to unprecedented heights in recent years. The highlights include 3 Premier League titles in a row, a 100-point season in 2017-18, and securing City's first ever Champions League and treble in the club's history last season. It has been a tougher start to the Premier League campaign this time around, with City currently sat in 4th place and winless in their last 4 games. City's last 5 defeats in all competitions have all been when Rodri hasn't featured. However, with the Spaniard available for selection, again following suspension, City are unbeaten in their last 43 games with him in the side. Record-breaking striker Erling Haaland has scored 9 goals in 8 Premier League games against promoted sides since his arrival in 2022. Norwegian has not scored in his last 2 Premier League games. And then Rob Edwards going into it, he said, Man City are amazing. I've got such an admiration for Guardiola as a manager. Wherever he's been, he has been a winner, and they have built this football club over the years. It's incredible to see the culture they have built with the players they have. To continuously evolve them and keep winning, including the treble last season, everyone will now be trying to knock them off their pedestal. So it's a big challenge for them. They've been in tight games where they could have won all of them. We know how tight games are, and that's just the nature of the Premier League. And then, obviously, we had the slim defeat to Arsenal. But, going into that, me and you obviously said, as long as the performance is there, you can't really complain too much if we lose because, how well Arsenal were doing. But yeah, team news going into it. Obviously, we briefly touched on it yesterday. It's positive. It's a lot more positive for us. Lockyer will be back. So obviously that's another centre back, which is obviously good to see. I was flickering, will it be him or Menji against Arsenal? But obviously it was Menji in, but Lockyer will be back for this one as well. So that's good because obviously the amount of options we've had, not available. Nakamba and Lukonga will be back. So again, that's obviously massive. The only 2 CDMs we've got at the club. Obviously we've had to go quite a few games now without Nakamba, which obviously has affected us. But Ross Barkley's done a very good job considering he's, not playing ideally where we'd love him to play and where he'd want to play. And obviously Lukonga's back as well. So that's good for, the experience side of things as well. And then obviously the usual ones are out at the moment. So obviously Woodrow, Burke, Potts, and Anderson. But I heard Woodrow is closer, so that'll be good for obviously another option. And then the referee will be Tim Robinson. 64 yellow cards and no red cards have been handed out by Robinson across his 15 games this season. Luton Town last had a game ran by him when we visited Sunderland in the first leg of obviously our playoffs. So, yeah, assistant referees Mark Perry and Matthew Wilkes, fourth official Craig Pawson, VAR Jared Gillett, and then assistant VAR Darren Cann. So, yeah, that's all of that. Then it goes into, the insights and the preview and all of that sort of thing. So, yeah, there is, that top flight one for us. Teams at the top half. That's a good stat for us for here on our side of things, but predominantly, as we probably expect, there's a lot that favoured towards Man City. But yeah, lineups. How would you go in this one, Steve? Away, obviously you got Rodri back. After hearing that, would you be putting him straight back in?
Yeah, 100%. Like you say, I think you mentioned it. I think there's 43 games with him, never lost. 5 without him, lost everyone. So. He's a massive, massive player for us. I don't think there's anybody else that can do what he does. So we do struggle when he's not there. Rodri will be back. Grealish will be back. They were both suspended. Jeremy Doku had got a little knock last game before Villa. So possible he might be back. But I'm expecting, for me, I'd probably go, it'd be Edison in net. I'd probably play Nathan Ake at left back. Probably play Stones, Diaz, Kyle Walker, Rodri, Bernardo, maybe Alvarez, and it'd be probably Grealish, Haaland, Foden. So we're a lot stronger with that lineup than we was at Villa the other night. Villa, we had Stones in midfield, we had Rico Lewis in there, Alvarez in the 10. It just looked all disjointed. There was no real creativity about the team. We had 2 shots on target, which is the lowest in a Pep game in 540 odd games. We were just, we weren't at the races. And to be honest, what this Manchester City team has done in the last 3 years, 3 Premier Leagues on the trot, won the treble, they are entitled to a blip. We can't moan, you know what I mean? If they're feeling a bit tired or whatever, no one's going to give us any sympathy. But being realistic, you can expect a little bit of a drop off. The players we've lost over the summer, Gundogan, Mahrez, Laporte, then the players we lost last summer, Sterling, Zinchenko, Jesus. And then we've replaced them with people like Calvin Phillips, Kovacic, Nunes, who Pep doesn't seem to really trust at the minute. So we are in a little bit, I wouldn't say it's a crisis. It's not a crisis. Come on. We've both of our teams have been in crises. You know what a crisis is, and I know what a crisis is. So we're not a crisis, but we are in uncharted territory for the last 3 or 4 years. So a lot of the younger fans are getting a bit mad, panicking and that, you know what I mean? I'm not panicking. I'm too old for that. I'm going to go and enjoy it. I'm looking forward to Luton absolutely getting in our face. It's not the place I wanted to go after Villa Park, if I'm honest with you. Small, compact, intimidating atmosphere. But it's up to us. They paid enough money. The superstars are lads. It's up to them to deal with that. You know what I mean? We can't be going there feeling sorry for ourselves, expecting any favours. Your lads are thinking, we've got the European champions coming to town. Let's have it. So it's one of them things. Just, go there, show them why we are the European champions, and get the win. 1-0 will do me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Dad, anything you wanna add onto that?
Yeah, there's a few bits of history between the clubs. When you say when you was in the mud, when we beat you 1-0 to stay up, was it? And Radianti scored way back in the day. I don't know. There's a little bit of right, especially at Luton. I think we are unbeaten in 7 against Man City at Kenilworth Road as well. There's been a lot of draws in there. And this, for me, I expect us to perform as we did against Liverpool and as we did against Arsenal. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. And this is what we got promoted before. 10 years ago, we was playing like, Dartford and teams like that. So, even just to be playing Man City is
the only thing I will say is like we're a bit of a wounded animal at the minute. So someone soon is going to get bit, and I can see it. I'm not saying it's going to be Sunday, but someone is going to get bit. You know what I mean? You City are well capable of going and putting someone away bad. So we just need to make sure we get the 3 points. That's more important for me. And just show a little bit of determination. The other night at Villa Park, I can handle getting beat, no problem. If you get beat off a better side, fair play. I'll always give the flowers. And Villa was a better side, but when we didn't lay a glove on them, when we didn't touch them, when we didn't put anything on them,
it's unusual.
It's hard to take, you know what I mean? When you're used to seeing a certain level of performance, and people were saying to me, "Oh, you're entitled and all that." It's not entitled. It's the standard at this football club now, the levels we're at now. You can't just still think we're in the second. I can't still think we're in the second division and everyone feels sorry for us. If the club lifts its standards, the fans have got to lift the standards. You know what I mean? So I'm up here with my performances, and I know what a good level of performance is for these players. Don't get me wrong. If we had a team full of free transfers and journeymen and we were bumming along, yeah, you expect that. We're trying our best, but we're not. You've got the best striker on the planet. Nobody gives him the ball. You know what I mean? You've got Phil Foden, one of the best talents in England, not getting on the ball. Bernardo Silva running around chasing lost causes. Defenders like Ruben Diaz and that, who've been sensational, getting stretched all over because Pep's playing this inverted midfield role for Akanji and stuff like that. So there's a lot of problems there that we're all managers in our own right. But I'm just a great believer in listen, get our head down and move on. I came out of Forest last year, 1-1, driving home. And there's no more positive Man City fan than me. And I thought to myself, I would never say it on the live stream because I got a lot of followers that follow me and they panic. If I turn around and said, that's it, we're fucking finished, everyone would be going mad. So I'm driving home and I'm thinking, we haven't got it in the tank. I'm thinking, I can't see it. 1-1, Forest, we're not putting teams away. And then he went and changed it. Flat back 4 of centre-backs. We won the treble. So coming out of Villa Park, I had that same feeling. It's not quite there. People were disgruntled. But listen, if anyone can change it around, that's why Pep Guardiola's paid 30 million a year. So he can do it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I remember, obviously when De Bruyne got injured at the start of the season, you could see in the couple of early games, when he was out, the games after, I see for City, you could tell, Haaland wasn't quite, going back to what you said earlier, where he wasn't quite getting the ball, no one was really, De Bruyne was very good at picking out them passes, wasn't he, out to him? And you were seeing like that wasn't really happening. And it was, it was sort of, getting isolated in a way, we're just not getting the ball sort of thing. And it's sort of like what we've had at times with Morris in a way, Dad.
Yeah.
Before he's obviously got dropped and that sort of thing. So, yeah, no, absolutely. Let's go through some more comments and then we'll get into our lineup. Big up to Jackie. She says, hi, Ty doesn't all.
Jackie.
Yes, that is true. If I'm being honest, obviously he's on loan from you guys. I've not really been too impressed with him since he's come in. He's, obviously he was on loan at Marseille last season. So obviously I know, going into the Premier League, it's obviously a different league. But I just thought, I expected better from him. And, going forward at times he's been okay. But defensively, he's he does get gotten at quite easily sometimes. Like even when we played Everton away, that left-hand side, I felt, Everton tried to exploit that. And, I just haven't really been impressed. And it might sound a bit mad that I'm, a bit glad he's not playing. But at the same time, it's just, because we haven't got anyone else in that position, like that is an actual right wing back. But we've got players that can go there. And I just, I haven't been convinced with him, to be honest. Big up to Awace in the chat. Obviously, the last time we played was obviously this time, 1999, like I said. Obviously, a 2-0 attendance, 26,000. Jackie's putting her lineup, so I'll start that and then I'll go through it. Big up to Hanno in the chat as well. Steve, what do you reckon? Who do you reckon will end up being in this title race alongside? Because I assume, obviously, you expect yourselves. And who else do you think? Do you think it'll be Liverpool and maybe someone else, or do you think it'll just be Liverpool?
Well, I was on the overlap beginning of the season, and I was the only one that said Liverpool would challenge City. Even Carragher said he didn't think they had the midfield, and the Liverpool lads were shaking their head and that. But to win the Premier League, you need mentality at the end. It's all right starting the season with, fast, 100 mile an hour, getting your noses in front. But at the end of the season, these teams, Man City, Liverpool, when we were going neck and neck, we're getting 90 points, 90 odd points. That's the levels to win this league. And when Arsenal were running away with it last year, and I came out at the Emirates and said that comment and said, look, there's a big blue shark. There's blood in the water. There's a big blue shark behind you. I meant it because I knew that we were capable of going on a 14, 13. There's Daps, by the way. His Christmas hat on.
I'm waiting for kebabs.
Kebabs. So so we do know that the mentality is an issue. And Arsenal, towards the end, started to throw away daft points, and then they lost the league. So I think Liverpool are capable of that run. Arsenal, you've seen today, they've lost. They did a great win against you, but there was only a minute away from dropping points against you. They've lost points today. So this Premier League at the minute, it's a bit wild. It's a bit wide open. So it depends in the business end of the season which team grabs it by the horns and runs away with it. But as a City fan, my main focus is just be in and around that top 2 when it gets to the business end. When we get Kevin De Bruyne back, if we strengthen in January, just be in and around, and let's hope we can get some sort of form.
Yeah. No, I've said it. I think you guys will definitely be in it. I said it at the start of the season. I think you guys will go on to win it again. And I did say, well, this is a bit of a mad one, but a few people did. I did say Man United second, which is not looking good. But yeah, that's that. But yeah, moving on to our lineup, Dad. So it's an interesting one because I was flickering between one or two things. Like I say, we've got a few players back, like I say, Nakamba, Lokonga. Obviously, we are against City, so you want that cover more. Even games against like Palace and that. Obviously, we've went with the 2 CDMs at home as well. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Kaminsky in goal. Obviously, obviously you got save of the month, well deserved. Since he's come in, he's been absolutely phenomenal. Like I said, when I asked the Blackburn fan, is he? Do you reckon he is Premier League quality? He said to me, yes. He is. It's just his distribution can be a bit questionable, but as long as he's doing the main thing most of the time, and that's shot stopping, I'm not really too fast. And you've seen, the amount of double saves he's done, the vital saves. You look at Villa away, for example. Ollie Watkins with the form he was on then. You're back him, to score, and it was a great save. Obviously, the one he got against Palace, first shot took a deflection, then the other one, to save that in the way he did, it was brilliant. So obviously, it's going to be him in goal. The back 3, obviously, you've got Lockyer back as well. So for me, I'm going to go Menji on that right. Or another thing, people might have forgot. Obviously, he's a former Man United player, so you never know. But yeah, I'm going to go with him. Obviously, he's been very good. Later stages of the game, the amount of clearances and vital stuff he's done is been brilliant. In the middle, like I say, this is where Lockyer will come back in for me in the middle. And then on the left side, you've got a few options. Obviously, you could go Bell, but it's not ideal because he's better as a wing back. Obviously, you can go with Osho, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put Osho in this one. Seems to thrive in the big games as well. Obviously against Liverpool, that's his second ever Premier League game, and he was quality. Against Arsenal, I thought he was decent as well. So yeah, that's the back 3. And then I'm going to go 2 CDMs, of course, like I say. So I am going to go Nakamba and Lokonga in this one. I'm going to start on both. And then the left wing back, again, you could go Giles because we're at home, but I don't think we will. I think it'll make sense if we go more so with Bell, put him, where we'd much prefer to see him. On the right, obviously, no Kabore, like I said, so it's got to be Doughty for me. Again, he's a player that you can't really drop at the moment. And then just ahead of them, as a cam, I am going to go Barkley. It's going to be good to see him, higher up, if obviously it is like that, because, the amount of good work he's done as a CDM has been, phenomenal, really. When you think, obviously, got off the mark as well, scoring against Arsenal as well. And then up front, I am going to go with, in this one, I think I'm going to go with Brown and Elijah. Now, so there might be some question marks that I haven't put Chio in, but I don't know. I just feel I'll go with this. Like I say, I was flickering between this formation, or I was flickering between the one we have played in, where it's been, one up front and then two just behind, and then maybe putting Chio. But there's a few things you could do, but it's good. It's good that that is the case. That we've got a lot more options and that sort of thing. But Dad, what is your lineup like? Is it similar or is it different?
It's more that what we've been going with. So what? I'll share my screen if I can.
Yeah, should be able to say just do the usual and it'll come in. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Obviously, yeah. Kaminsky in goal, and then three at the back. Lockie will definitely be starting. I feel we did miss him a bit against Arsenal as well. Menji and Osho both been performing well, and obviously Kabore not playing. We're going to put. I'd say Doughty's going to be there. He's played there before. Bell probably going to be in his normal position though, which is good. And then I feel we're just going to go. Nakamba will go straight back into this. We need him in games like this, particularly. And Barkley, as you know, has been unbelievable, especially against Arsenal. He was good against Liverpool as well. So I don't think he'll be quite going into that role just yet, because I don't think the Conga, he's been out for quite a while, since the Wolves game, I believe. So I don't think you throw him straight back in there. Potentially, he'll probably be on the bench. Whereas Nakamba's been out for less time, and he's played a lot more games for us and things like that. Chio, for me, you have to start Chio. He's been terrorizing quality players as well. His pace and his strength. So you've got to start him. Townsend for his experience, chasing down on that right, and then I'd stick with Elijah as well up front, because I thought he played well in the last game, and he's got a good presence. He's very tall and that in the box and stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could see more so yours, because I could see, like you say, with the Lokonga thing. Obviously he's been out for a while. Barkley's played really well there, and it also, like I say, it gives you the more options, like your Chios as well. Brown, again, even Townsend. I was thinking more so Townsend, bring him on in this one. Similar to Brentford. Obviously, hopefully it's not like that in the sense of the performance-wise, which I'm sure it won't be. But
yeah. And what I'm thinking as well is Nakamba will do, what he normally does, the dirty work basically, and that maybe allow Barkley to get, more creative, because he doesn't tackle that well, but when he's hot, you can't get the ball off of him. His touch is amazing, but it'll allow him to push up a little bit and look for them spaces, because he's created a hell of a lot of chances just from bombing forward a little bit and looking and waiting. That Premier League quality, looking for that right pass. That could be key. So yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I saw a bit the other day. They would just put up all his key moments against Arsenal, and the amount of times he won the ball back and played some brilliant balls across. And Doughty always seems to realise them as well and get onto them. And again, that's why you've got to go with him, whether it's on the left or the right, really, of that wing back. But after saying all of that, it's that time, the final time, score predictions. Steve, as you are the guest, I'll let you go first with your score prediction in this one.
Well, I'm hearing from City fans that Haaland hasn't travelled with a squad, so I don't know what's going on there. I have just looked. There's a few. I'll try and find out about that. But so that means for me, it's probably going to be Alvarez up front. It's going to be tough for Alvarez against your defenders, the big physical lads. You know what I mean? Alvarez is very, very, he's very nimble, and that we have to make sure we play to his strengths. But I think City will get the job done. I don't think it's going to be easy. I'm going to go 2-1 City.
That's fair enough. Dad, your score prediction?
It's difficult, because I've just got to fit. This is set up for Luton a little bit as well. The romance of the budget, etc. Getting relegated away to non-league, coming back again, and I don't know. This is the sort of game that stands out in the Premier League. I'm just going to go for the romance of it. I just want to see a good performance no matter what. But I'm going to go for the romance of it, and I'm going to go 3-2 Luton.
Gee, So sort of like Bournemouth vibes when we played them and had that late on goal, maybe something like that. Is that what you're thinking?
Well, that and performance against Arsenal. I know it's going to be difficult to replicate that, but I think Rob Edwards anticipated that in a way where he took at 60 minutes, he took three, switch 3 for 3. I feel he was always going to do that anyway. I just think that all the players will be up for it, obviously, and as long as we can keep a clean sheet for the first 15, 20 minutes, like we have been doing against good teams as well, then it's set up for us. If we go 2-0 down in the first 20 minutes, then let's just hope it don't. Because like you said, Steve, they're looking to bite someone, and if they go 2-3 up early, that it'll be us. I'm sorry, but it will. But I'm going for the romance, so I'll go for the 3-2.
Nice. My score prediction, how do I see it going? Like I say, I think it'll be like how all our games have been at home, where they've been tight. We've given teams games. I do think City will bounce back. And I also do believe that they will win 2-1. But like I say, I think it will be a tight one in this game. And I think, if it's one of them where, we go 0-0 at half time, like we have in a lot of games, then I'll be happy and, might even maybe sneak something. But I'm gonna say 2-1 City in this one. But everyone else's score predictions, there is a few 2-1 to City. Big up to Chris inside as well. He's gone 2-1 to City. So Spencer as well. Hanno's gone goals. He's gone 3-2 City. But then again, if you see, the Arsenal 1-4-3, you could maybe see another one, especially, at Kenilworth Road. And to be fair, the games last Sunday, a lot of them had goals as well, didn't they? There was obviously Liverpool 4-3. Bournemouth Villa was 2-2. And I think maybe even the other game had a few goals. Yeah, Brighton, Chelsea was 3-2 as well, wasn't it? So never know. It could be one of them games again, or one of them weekends, shall I say. Jackie says, I'd love a draw. So that's what I'm going to say. I know it's doubtful. Yeah, it's going to be obviously very difficult. I remember when we was, looking at the fixtures at home, we was thinking, if there is a game at home that we might get hiding, it's probably this one. Just because of Man City, how good they are. So and Awais has gone 2-0 City in this one. So that is that off the Hat Show. So thank you again, Steve, for coming on. Much appreciated.
No problem at all.
And just let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, at Big Steve MCFC on Instagram and YouTube. I'm on TikTok now at Big Steve MCFC. And you can see me on the overlap. I've done the first one pre-season. I think there's one in January with Neville and Carragher and that. I'm sure I'm going to get a bit of a grilling. 115 charges and all that nonsense. So, I'm ready for that.
Obviously, I'll put your channel in the title as well. So, obviously, people do go over to that and do subscribe. And, Dad, any final things you'd like to say about anything?
Just enjoy it. Like, all the Luton fans just enjoy it. Cause that's what we're coming to the Premier League for. And we have been fighting still this season. It is showing. We still are dragged in there a little bit, but as long as we're in touching distance, it's fine, And you're going to have to take a hit at some point. I think Burnley have been battered.
Yeah, they have.
United have certainly been battered, but we haven't really been battered yet. Not especially not to the extent that people thought we was going to, But we knew different because we're not a team and stuff. But it happens, it happens. But I'm sure we will bounce back, and we're very, very good at that because we had a very poor performance against Brentford, wasn't it? One of the worst of the season, and then Arsenal was one of the best. So just keep that a little bit. Narrow loss, I'll take that all day long. Just keep the faith. And then we've got some important games coming up later on in the month. We've got Bournemouth away, we're doing all right at the moment. We've got Sheffield United away, and a lot of teams play each other around that bottom, end of the table. So just carry on while we're still in it. We're still in it. So, enjoy it.
And it was interesting at times, obviously earlier on. And at one point we dropped down to 19th when Burnley were beating Brighton, and then obviously Brighton, put us back up to where we was originally at the start of the day. So yeah, it's going to be one of them where obviously, we've got to do a job our end, but it is going to be one where we are going to be looking out for other results because it's just, that's how tight it is at the bottom at the moment. So yeah, big up to Shard Light as well. He says 1-0 to City. And Away says, love Steve. Big up, lads. Great show. Big up yourself, Awace. And big up Spencer as well. And yeah, like I say, I'll be back again with a watch along tomorrow to this one. So obviously do make sure you can tune into that if you can. And then obviously we'll do a hat show probably on Monday to react to it. And then, yeah, obviously we'll be back again on Friday after that. And yeah, hopefully we'll have a Bournemouth fan on for that as well as we take on Bournemouth, which is going to be interesting, like you say, Dad, because they are picking up a bit of form. It's away, and games over the years they've been tight, but they've not been overly great for us. I think the last time we won there was the Drewsbury All goal, wasn't it? When there was no fans. So it's going to be interesting, but obviously we'll get onto that nearer the time and all of that. So big up to everyone that's tuned in. Until next time, take care and peace.